Welcome to the Intrazone Roadmap Pit Stop February 2024 edition. This is a bonus monthly show that answers that burning question in your mind. What is rolling out now for SharePoint and related technology in Microsoft 365? I'm Mark Cashman, Senior Product Manager at Microsoft, here to help set the ongoing record straight. And we're publishing on Leap Day 2024. What do you have planned with your extra day of the year? For me, I'm publishing the Intrazone and also want to send a happy birthday to the approximately 5 million Leaplings around the world celebrating their once every 4-year birthdays. And I'm going to connect with the Microsoft brand team to see if we can rename Microsoft 365 to Microsoft 365 Days, 5 hours, 48 minutes, and 45 seconds. Just for today, just for the Leaplings. So, beyond the leaps and every 4-year birthday bounds, we are going to focus this episode on everything that landed this month, a few related items, and the always fun teasers looking into next month. This podcast is your 30-minute pit stop to stay ahead of the ever-curving Microsoft 365 roadmap. It is now time to kick back, get informed about all the tech that rolled out in this extra long February 2024. We will start, as we always do, with employee engagement. And first up is truly how are employees engaging, specifically with Copilot. There is now a new Copilot Dashboard built into Viva Insights. This dashboard helps organizations maximize the value of Copilot for Microsoft 365. It gives you those actionable insights that help you get ready to deploy AI or drive adoption based on how AI is transforming workplace behavior. You can learn from that. And of course, to measure the impact of Copilot now and over time across 3 main metrics: readiness, adoption, and impact. 2 notes on the dashboard: this is accessible and managed by global admins. And the specific analytics, the measured population, consists of the people in your company called measured employees, whose Microsoft 365 collaboration activity you want to analyze. Some organizations choose to analyze the entire population, while others use population subsets for specific analysis scenarios. If you want to get insights that reflect all Copilot users in the company, you will need to assign everyone a Viva Insights license. There's a lot of great detail in a blog, but also some learn how articles and how to review the dashboard, set it up so that you get the metrics that you want, and of course the insights that you need. Next up, SharePoint Premium translation is now generally available. With business transactions and collaboration expanding, we're excited to announce that we now offer a powerful way to translate files instantly and at scale. For us, this milestone means translation is available for all commercial regions globally, which means you should have it if you want it. You can easily create a translated copy of a selected file or set of files in a SharePoint document library among dozens of languages. There's a link that will take you out to what languages are available, all while preserving as much of the original format and structure of the file as possible. You can translate files manually on demand or automatically at scale by creating a translation rule. It's a great reason to become a SharePoint Premium customer. We hope you at least consider it. And one of the many capabilities of advanced content management that is now coming on top of the core of SharePoint in Microsoft 365. Okay, now one for developers. And it's also good for the business to know, as far as progress in the next evolution of AI, what is possible with custom development. Now you can deploy a custom Copilot to SharePoint with a seamless single sign-on experience. It's one of the things we're very excited to share, the recent addition to the Copilot Studio samples in the code sample repository that helps you and demonstrates for you how to publish a custom Copilot to a SharePoint site with, as the name implies, a seamless sign-on experience built in. Copilots in general are created with Copilot Studio and can be easily published to Microsoft Teams and other channels. However, many use cases would benefit from Copilots deployed directly on a SharePoint site, which gives you the ability to bring a conversational experience grounded in the site's pages and documents. For example, think about a SharePoint site consolidating human resources related information with an embedded Copilot answering employee questions and referencing the relevant HR policies. Remember, grounded in your HR content with a bot that then is able to interact there, especially right where you want it. The component that's included in the sample allows Copilot created with Microsoft Copilot Studio to be wrapped and published to SharePoint sites as a floating widget. The component also supports SSO, so users would not have to provide their credentials or use the validation code required by the standard Copilot canvas, aka seamless copiloting on SharePoint. Done. Next and last is a retirement message that we want to pass along. We just started to raise awareness of the retirement of Viva Topics. This is going to be retired on February 22nd of 2025. And to be clear, Microsoft will not invest in new features developed on Viva Topics going forward from February 22, 2024. So starting this month, we will no longer be developing on topics, and in roughly a year's time, we will be looking to retire that. The reasoning behind this, with the generational shift in AI technology, with a lot we're doing with Copilot and leveraging a lot of the technology inherently within your application's experiences, we're now focusing on that as a strategy, putting our efforts building new AI-powered knowledge management experiences into Microsoft Copilot and other parts of Microsoft 365. I'm going to link to a couple of new articles that go into more depth about what you can expect for topics and topic pages and the Topic Center site to come. The basics are that no knowledge is lost. A lot of the information is captured still as a SharePoint page that lives on, and a SharePoint site that certainly lives on. It's just the notion of AI that's automated on those pages is what will end with this change once it takes hold. There is, again, a great knowledge management article so that you can learn that's been published to the Microsoft 365 Adoption Center. I'll have that link, but the short code, if you want to go there right now, is aka.ms/M365 Knowledge Management. And that'll take you to the broader Knowledge Management Adoption Center, and you'll be able to see it highlighted there on that page. So a lot to review, maybe some things to plan for, but always like to give a heads up on some of those broader retirement decisions, that decision being that Viva Topics will be retired on February 22nd, 2025. That takes us into teamwork, and we are going to kick it off with one of the most core elements of SharePoint, the document library. And now you can create custom document library templates. This leverages the existing PowerShell-based tooling and methods for creating custom list templates. And as a global administrator or SharePoint administrator, you have the ability to establish what your organization needs specific to your business, specifically in how you want to customize and make that programmatically repeatable for future document libraries. These templates will be visible inside the new document library creation experience in two locations. If you start from SharePoint Home, click New Document Library, and you will see it there as a template to choose from, your custom templates. Or if you go to a SharePoint site, go to Site Contents, click New, and you will see that same experience in terms of choosing a document library and then which template. This has been an often requested feature, I can tell you, through many events and online experiences. And of course, anytime people provide feedback as far as what used to be user voice in the feedback portal. And it's one of those that we used to be able to do X and Y on premises. Well, count down the list of limitations to one less thing. Custom library templates are now doable in the cloud. Always a lot of great documentation, specifically on this one. There's documentation for admins and documentation for end users in terms of how to use custom templates in general. Now for lists and libraries. Next up and last for teamwork, we have updated the Lists app threefold. We've updated lists in team sites, lists in the progressive web app if you use it offline from the browser, and in Microsoft Teams. This first improves the overall performance for all list creation and consumption entry points. It also introduces new features, including the ability to add ratings to any list, drag and or paste images directly into a list, see who's collaborating with you in real time. That one I've had the pleasure of using many times as we're planning for the Microsoft 365 Community Conference. I can actually see who's in the list and where they're doing what, especially when some of those are time-bound by needing to get things turned in by X time or date. And you can switch between views by clicking tabs and more. There's a lot of things that the list team has been doing in terms of the usability and the functionality of lists, and we don't stop bringing it to one endpoint. You will see these updates when you browse to lists in SharePoint Sites, the List Progressive Web App, and lists in Teams, as I mentioned. All lists in SharePoint Sites will maintain the SharePoint Sites Chrome, theming, and navigation, effectively keeping you in SharePoint when working with lists. There's a really great broader article that talked about all the things that the list team was working on. I'll link to that. There's certainly some new documentation coming in terms of some of the changes across the different list entry points. Which takes us into related technology. First up is Microsoft Copilot in Microsoft Teams. It's one of the most pervasive Copilot experiences out. We've announced a lot of things for Copilot in Microsoft 365, but starting in February 2024, Copilot for Microsoft 365 users began to see a new Copilot experience in Microsoft Teams. This is an improved version of the Copilot app in Teams that you might have seen before, formerly known as Microsoft 365 Chat or M365 Chat as began to be known. Now it is Copilot in Teams. It offers the same functionality and the content access as you would have experienced if you had tried it as its original name, but with a couple of new benefits that I want to highlight here. There are better prompts, including details specific to you, like the people you work with, your meetings, and your files. There's also the ability to see your Copilot chat history, which is always nice to refer back to, still visible to you, but you can now at least see the history of, and access to a library of prompts via the Copilot Lab, which I highly encourage you to try. For sure, it severely, promptly cuts down the learning curve of using Copilot. It's always great to know what you can do and then give it a try. Next up, Microsoft Clipchamp now has automatic captions. All things improve with broader AI innovation in general across Microsoft 365. Once it's in one place, it's much easier, not only for us, but for you to have that be a pervasive experience or capability across multiple apps. Thus, Microsoft Clipchamp, like Stream preceding it, now offers automatic captioning to help your organization's videos become more accessible. All users can use the new auto captions for all videos at no additional cost. The caption menu is an icon in the top right corner of the Clipchamp editor. Captions will be automatically generated using AI and added to the video as text. Some more details just so you get a sense of what's possible. The transcript creates an index of timestamps to help you navigate and edit the videos. You can choose to edit the captions, you can hide the captions, or you can download the caption file as an SRT file, which is a standard captioning file recognized by multiple players out there, should that become useful. And you control how the captions appear in the video with settings such as font size, styles, and placement in the video. There's a couple of new articles certainly posted about how auto captions work in Clipchamp through the Microsoft support channel. Next up is another Teams feature that will be one of those hidden features, if you know what I mean. Sometimes the general channel is all that you use, and that's great, but now you can hide the general channel should you not need it. At other times, when you have just tons of channel for very specific reason, the value of the general channel sort of minimizes, and sometimes you just don't want to see it anymore. Now, you will be able to hide general channels as well when they aren't the primary channel that you use. Note, if the general is the last channel in the team, then the team will get hidden as well. So if it's the only channel and you hide the general channel, you're going to hide the team in general. Now, if the general channel is hidden by the user, the channel will no longer show in their teams and channels lists. They will still be able to show the channel by going to the hidden channels in the teams and channels list, or manage teams, go to the channels tab and select show for me. The channel's always there, generally speaking, should you wish to see it or not. Our last related item requires a lot of headspace to grasp. It is time to get spatial. It's time to make your virtual office and core productivity tools accessible in spatial computing. That's right. Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, and Microsoft Teams are now available on Apple visionOS, aka you can get a sense of what you can do with all of these things in the Apple Vision Pro. To give you a sense, Teams on Apple Vision Pro is a spatial computing app for collaborating with your colleagues, family, and friends. You can call, you can join meetings, you can chat, and you can share files from your Apple Vision Pro device while staying immersed in your surroundings, however you choose to design that experience beyond the app that you're using. Just to be clear, the initial release of Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Team on Apple visionOS does support both enterprise and consumer accounts. I'm going to link to a few things so you can check out some of the early testers and adopters out there to see what they're doing. Jeff Teeper was playing with one. Omar Shaheen was playing with one on a trip that he had, so he was doing it on a plane. And there's also a great tutorial by MVP John Moore that really steps you through how to get started, things to try, and the experience to expect. So I'll link to a couple of those things just because I think they were useful to see what are people trying to accomplish and what does it look like. There's also a really good blog from Microsoft, how to use Microsoft Teams on the Apple Vision Pro. Now, the Vision Pro may not be for everyone, and I'm always glad to see Microsoft working with Apple in any capacity, be it as an early developer on new devices and platforms, but in any way that equates to the productivity experience that we design, excelling on unique and new devices, in this case, certainly a very new and unique device. It's a win-win in my opinion. It's something that I love to see two big companies working well together, especially when they own what it is that they're really good at and bringing them together to make it a holistic, great experience and a productive experience for you. Okay, let us move into the near future. That's right, it is time for the March 2024 teasers. Even if you're sitting there listening to this through the Apple Vision Pro, I don't even know if that's possible to hear the intrazone on the Apple Vision Pro, but I bet it is. So you're already living in the future if you're doing it that way. But I'm going to share a little bit of the future that's just around the corner in the Microsoft 365 calendar for March 2024. Two teasers for you. Teaser number one, Microsoft lists the new Forms experience. I specifically have gotten a ton of questions about when is it coming? When is it coming? Well, with high certainty from the signals that I'm seeing here internally, Microsoft lists new Forms experience is literally just around the corner, coming very soon. Teaser number two, answers in Viva content now coming to Microsoft Search. So you will see effectively answers in Microsoft Search. Not only is Microsoft Search always good for finding answers, but specifically those ones that through the question and answer capabilities of Viva that have been listed as answers, the right answer, those will now come through as something that you would see in the result set of a Microsoft search. That is it with this month's Peek Ahead. We'll share more details and other updates in the SharePoint A Roadmap Pit Stop March 2024 edition next month. We've added learn more links per feature plus a list of important resources in the show notes and in the corresponding blog post on the Microsoft Tech community published to the SharePoint community blog. I hope you've enjoyed this Roadmap Pit Stop. It is time to pump the brakes and relax knowing that you are all caught up. If anything does still leave you scratching your head with open questions or concerns, please send us your thoughts and comments to theintrozone@microsoft.com. We are here to put our and your best change management foot forward. And we thank you for taking that step with us into the cloud month after month. This is Mark Cashman saying the Ides of March 2024 are upon us, on the roadmap ahead.